As winter bites, there's a secret saboteur in your office that could be quietly draining your bank account. And I'm not talking about the heating bill. I'm talking about your printers. Have you ever wondered why you suddenly get streaky prints or error messages the moment it gets cold? You're not alone. These temperature drops can cripple your ink and toner, leading to wasted supplies and even catastrophic hardware failure. But what if I told you that a few incredibly simple changes to your daily routine could solve all of it? Stick with me, because by the end of this short video, you'll have a bulletproof plan to protect your investment and keep your office running smoothly, no matter how cold it gets outside. We all watch the thermostat in the winter, but almost nobody thinks about the toner cabinet. And believe me, after years of helping businesses fix these exact problems, I can tell you that this oversight costs them a fortune. Your printers are sensitive, and ignoring the impact of the cold is like throwing $100 bills into the recycling bin. Let me tell you a quick story about a client I work with. Let's call him Dave. Dave ran a small marketing agency, and one January, his office was plagued with printer problems. First, his inkjet printer started producing faded, streaky brochures. He couldn't figure it out. The ink cartridges were new. What Dave didn't realize was that the ink inside those cartridges is a complex liquid. When it gets cold, its viscosity changes. You know how honey gets thick and impossible to pour when it's cold? It's the exact same principle. That thickened ink just can't flow through the microscopic nozzles of the printhead. The printer tries to force it, which leads to clogs. So Dave kept running cleaning cycles, which just wasted a ton of perfectly good ink, until he finally had to toss out cartridges that were still half full. But his laser printer was acting up too. He assumed since toner is a powder, it would be fine. I made that same mistake early in my career, and it was an expensive lesson. The real enemy here isn't just the cold, it's the temperature swing. When the office cools down overnight and the heat kicks on in the morning, invisible condensation forms everywhere, including inside your toner cartridges. When that moisture hits the fine toner powder, it makes it clump together. Instead of a fine dust, you get useless little lumps, which results in blotchy, unprofessional looking prints. For Dave, the final straw was when his main office printer just died. That same condensation that clumped his toner had formed on an internal circuit board. When his assistant turned it on in the morning, the moisture caused a short circuit that completely fried the main board. The repair cost more than a new printer. All of these issues, the wasted ink, the clumpy toner, the dead machine, all stemmed from the cold. Now that you understand the enemy, let's build our defense. The great news is that the most powerful solutions are also the simplest. It all starts with the room itself. The first piece of the puzzle is managing your humidity. Winter air is dry, and your office heating makes it even drier. This creates static electricity, which is notorious for causing paper jams and making toner particles stick in all the wrong places. On the other hand, if the air gets too humid, you get that toner clumping condensation we just talked about. So what's the sweet spot? You're aiming for a relative humidity between 40 to 60%. You can check this with a simple, inexpensive gadget called a hygrometer. If your air is too dry, a commercial humidifier is one of the best investments you can make for your office hardware. Now, for the most important factor of all, a stable temperature. Manufacturers generally recommend keeping your workspace between 68 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 20 to 24 degrees Celsius. I know so many businesses try to save a few bucks by letting the office get really cold at night. This is a classic example of being penny wise and pound foolish. The money you save on heating is nothing compared to the cost of a fried printer logic board. Remember, it's the constant fluctuation from cold to hot that creates the destructive condensation. A stable temperature is your single best defense. Finally, let's talk about condensation. I've walked into so many offices where the printers are shoved in a cold, drafty closet and the spare toner is stored in a damp, unheated basement. This is a recipe for failure. Both your machines and your supplies need good air circulation to benefit from the office's climate control. Giving them a little breathing room isn't just about convenience, it's a critical part of the strategy. Okay, so you've got your office environment dialed in, but the battle can be lost the moment new supplies arrive at your door. Think about it. That case of ink and toner has been on a delivery truck, potentially sitting in freezing temperatures for days. This brings us to the single most important rule I can possibly share with you. You must let new supplies warm up. If you remember nothing else from this video, please remember this. Never ever install a freezing cold cartridge into a warm printer. Doing so is the fastest way to guarantee failure. Condensation will form on and inside it instantly. For ink, it can ruin the liquid formula. For toner, it guarantees the powder will clump and introduces that killer moisture deep inside your machine. So, how long is long enough? For just one cartridge, give it at least 4 hours at room temperature. But the best practice, and what I advise all my clients, is to let a full case of supplies sit for 24 hours in the same climate-controlled room as your printers. I know it's tempting to rip it open when you need a cartridge right now, but this simple act of patience will prevent so many headaches and save you so much money. Proper storage is also crucial. Keep your cartridges in their original sealed packaging until you're ready to use them. It's designed to protect them from humidity and and light, and store them in a dedicated cabinet in a climate-controlled room, away from direct sunlight and cleaning supplies. So you've stabilized the room and you're handling supplies like a pro. This is the final piece of the puzzle that locks in all your hard work, your daily habits. First, let's talk about the morning. You wouldn't start your car in sub-zero weather and immediately redline the engine, right? You let it warm up. Your printer needs the same respect, especially if your office temperature drops at night. When you turn on a cold printer, just give it 15 to 20 minutes to sit idle before you slam it with a huge print job. This allows all the internal components, electronics, and lubricants to come up to a stable temperature, dramatically reducing your wear and tear. This is a habit I've drilled into every team I've worked with, and it works. Next, do a little homework. Every manufacturer lists the ideal operating temperature and humidity for the machines in the user manual or on their support site. Take 5 minutes, look up the specs for your main printers, and you might find one model that's more sensitive than another, which helps you know where to focus your efforts. Finally, don't be afraid to ask an expert. I spent years learning the quirks of different brands in the real world, and so has your supply vendor or managed print partner. A quick call can give you advice tailored specifically to your equipment, insights that go beyond general tips and help you build a perfect winter defense plan. You see, winter doesn't have to be a season of printer errors and surprise repair bills. The solutions aren't complex. It all boils down to being more mindful. By creating a stable environment for your equipment, you prevent the root cause of the problem. By patiently letting new supplies acclimate, you stop damage before it can even start. And by giving your machines a moment to warm up, you protect them for the long haul. These simple habits are a powerful shield against the hidden costs of cold weather. You'll protect your investment, get every last drop of ink and grain of toner you paid for, and keep your office productive all winter long. Protect your fleet, protect your budget, and have a great stress-free winter. Thanks for watching.